How did the Encomienda system work in colonial Latin America? Imagine a system where Spanish settlers could claim the labor of indigenous peoples in their area, but they were supposed to protect and teach them about Christianity in return. That's essentially how the Encomienda system operated during the colonial era. It was set up in the early 1500s by the Spanish crown to organize how colonists interacted with native communities. Encomenderos, or Spanish settlers, received a grant from the crown that gave them control over a specific group of indigenous people living nearby. They didn't get land, but they had the right to demand work and tribute, like crops, textiles, or gold, from the indigenous communities. The idea was that the encomenderos would act as guardians and religious teachers, helping the indigenous people convert to Christianity and protect their well-being. In practice, though, it often turned into forced labor. Encomenderos would demand more work than was fair, forcing indigenous people to work in mines, on farms called haciendas, or inside households. The indigenous populations suffered greatly because of this, with many dying from overwork, malnutrition, or diseases brought by Europeans. The crown tried to control this abuse with laws like the laws of Burgos and the New Laws, which aimed to limit the power of the encomenderos and protect indigenous peoples. But these laws were not always enforced, and many colonists ignored them. Over time, the system started to fade away and was replaced by other forms of labor, like the repartimiento system, but it remained in some areas until it was officially abolished in the late 1700s. The legacy of the Encomienda system is a complicated part of Latin American history. It helped shape the social and economic structure of colonial society by blending indigenous labor with Spanish authority. While it was justified at the time as a way to Christianize and protect indigenous peoples, it often caused harm and disrupted their cultures. Indigenous leaders played a role in managing their communities under the system, and the mixing of Spanish and indigenous traditions influenced the development of colonial culture. So, in simple terms, the Encomienda system was a royal grant that gave Spanish colonists control over indigenous labor, promising protection and religious guidance but often leading to exploitation and suffering. It was a key part of how the economy and society of Latin America grew during the colonial period.